going on, guys? This is Side of Fries. It's your boy, Alex Ximil. Here today. Very chill day. Nothing really crazy today. I didn't really do anything. And today I am here with my guest, Devon Roberts. Local comic. Honestly, probably one of the closer comics that I've gotten to know over the years since I've done stand-up. Would you say so?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're buds.
Yeah. Like I said, Devon's a local comic here. She's actually one of the fucking top comics out here. Like, you're just out here, like, knocking good night shows and fucking. You've just been out here.
I've been out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, like, I think, because it's funny, when I first met you, like, I was mad intimidated to even talk to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Congratulations. No,
You're
but,
welcome for being scary.
Okay. It's not because you were scary. It's just, starting out, when shy people, like, do stuff, it's, like, kind of, like, you don't even want to talk to anybody. You kind of just want to do something there and then just bounce.
It's weird to enter a comedy scene, I do think. It was, like, I remember being, when I first did it was, like, awkward and hard and, weirder. It's like and on top of having to like write jokes and do comedy for the first time, also like navigating the scene is also awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like just because this is the first time I've ever had to do networking and like having to talk to people and like try to put your name out there and really like grind to like get booked for shows. Like I've never done anything like that.
Yeah.
Like more so if I did something like that, it's more so like sports, but even then we don't even do that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd really done that either because there's not a lot of like situations where you actually really need to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mean, because I used to play lacrosse in high school and I used to play soccer as a goalie. And then anytime we'd go to like these like any of the games, like our coaches are doing most of the talking.
Yeah.
Or, like they're getting the sponsors to support us. And like for us when we're out here, we literally have to do all the work like to get to where we want to be. Yeah. And I mean, I guess at some point it gets easy. I know it got easier for me, like, because after I felt a little comfortable in the scene, like talking to people, it just, it just came with it.
Yeah, it does. And like once you like make friends and like have like your people there and like your buds, then like it's a lot easier. But it probably took like a year of doing it for me to feel like I understood navigating the scene. And then after a year of me doing stand-up, like the pandemic hit. So then I had to relearn it probably after the pandemic.
So you were doing comedy before the pandemic?
Yeah.
So like a whole year before? So that's like 4 years total?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so for you, because I mean, like I said earlier, like I've only seen you be nothing but successful. I mean, like, you laugh, but like I'm being serious. Like I'm not like trying to flatter you. Like it's legit. Like, because it's you. It's like, I mean, obviously Spencer and Jordan, and then just everybody else. Like, who else am I thinking of? Brandy. Like all of these people. Anna, when she was here, like, and now she's fucking London doing her thing over there.
Yeah, but she moved for like work and reasons, not like stand-up reasons.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like, the idea is that they're starting to like go beyond what they are, were so doing here. And so like it's just in that short span, like you're one of the few people that I would call like successful.
Yeah, but some of that might have been because I was doing stand up like before the pandemic hit. So when things were reopening and I was like, even though I'd taken like 18 months off mostly, I was a familiar face still. So
yeah, because like when I got in the scene, there was like this like, because I started a year after the pandemic, 2021. Like
in like January. When did you start?
So I started in September.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so like from there was like, I started meeting all these people that were grinding. Like this is when I first met like Adam. Like Adam Riaste was doing that. I had met, who else? Fuck, there's a lot of people that I actually met. Jalen was just starting to do the Halcyon takeover from Matt. Like there was just a bunch of people that were kind of growing, and I was like, oh wow, these guys are moving really fucking fast. I should probably keep up. And then, like just for a while, I was going to these shows and I was doing all this, and then even then, I didn't feel like I was good. Like none of my jokes were really sticking except one, the H Mart joke that I don't even use anymore.
That's a good joke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like after I've done it for so long, like I
Yeah.
kind of got sick of it.
I get bored. I'm pretty bored of like a lot of the jokes that I still tell. And I don't think you ever really get to a point where you feel like really good at it. Like a lot of people who've been doing it for a long time still don't really feel really good at it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm intellectually understand that I have like really good moments, but it's hard to feel. It's just not something that I think people like. You don't peak at it.
Yeah, like I mean, because I'm still like, I think the whole reason I even started doing podcasting is because like I feel like I've sucked at writing jokes now to a point where like even trying to write it, I'll give up midway and just be like, like I can't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I've been working on so many jokes that like they're just not finished. They're like, oh, I have like pinpoints, and then I'll try to write something, and then it's just like I can't do it. Like.
Haven't you seen that thing that some people do where they go up and they just have like a list of premises and they just like rattle off the premises and then they see if anybody like reacts to the premises and then they're like, okay, those are the ones I should continue to work on.
I haven't seen that.
You should do that.
So like just take all those pinpoints and kind of
take your premises and like work it out so it could be like a sentence or two, and then just take all your premises up and then like I've seen people just be like, okay, I got a bunch of premises, and then just like kind of rattle them off. And then the ones that people react to, those are ones that maybe you should spend more time like trying to finish.
I've actually never thought about doing that. That's actually fire. Because another thing that I thought maybe my problem was is that maybe I'm just not that familiar with comedy in itself.
Interesting.
Like, because I got into comedy, like, just, you know, only knowing like two comics, Dave Chappelle and Andrew Schultz. That's it.
Yeah.
And only watching like YouTube clips and then like, you know, the Netflix is funny like clips that you see on TikTok. I just went in and was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
After that, like the only comedy indulgence I was getting was like podcasts. Like Bad Friends with I'm blanking. But like you get the idea.
Yeah,
like I'm just literally like listening to these comedians. I'm not really watching comedy specials, and like, you know, when I talk to everyone like in the scene, they're always referring to different comedies like specials or like different comedians, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I feel fake as shit.
Yeah, I feel that way too because I don't really like watching stand up.
Exactly.
So
well, it's not that I don't like it, it's just I do the same thing with movies. I don't have time to watch it.
I don't like watching stand up. I only like watching stand up live. And I never really watched too much stand up before I started doing it. And now that I do it and I see it live so much, when I try to watch like a special at home, I just like look at my phone, and because it's just hard to watch. I think I don't really connect with it that way. And I also feel like I've stopped putting pressure on myself to like connect with something that I don't want to, because like you said, time is like limited. I would rather watch kind of something that I feel like is more entertaining.
And like, because I've already had experience with like stage time. Like I used to, I was a theater kid in high school, but the only thing I did in theater that involved me being on the stage was being a stage manager, or like the manager for the ushers.
Yeah.
And so I would make the beginning announcement. I'd make the, I already forgot what it's called. Not halftime, but like the
call time and stuff. Yeah, like
the
10 minutes to show.
Yeah. I would do that, and then my high school was fucking weird. Like they had like you'd win signed posters of everybody that did it, and you get to win it if you do a drawing, and it's like, oh, we're just kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I get it. Like it's just, it's something for the families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did that, and then for a while, like I've always wanted to be like a musician. I became a DJ for like 5 years, and
that's cool.
That's where like the stage time came in from.
Okay.
And then after that, like comedy just came, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. Like that sounds fun. And then it ended up being fun because I met like everyone.
Yeah.
Like, all my friends now are cool there, stuff like that. So aside from comedy, because you're from the north,
Detroit, suburban Detroit.
What's that like? What is that like? Because I'm from New York, and
okay.
so everybody.
Where are you from in New York?
I'm from Queens.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like New York is like, oh, you just think New York, train stations, buses, fucking terrible people on the sidewalk, like. That's essentially what New York is if you have never been there.
Yeah.
And then when you go there, you're like, oh, there's so many things you can do here. Like, this is great. And then you live there for a week, and it's like, I fucking hate it here.
Yeah. I don't think I would want to, I don't really want to live in New York. But yeah, no, so suburban Detroit is probably very similar to suburban New York. And like suburban Chicago and Los Angeles and stuff. It's just like another like big sprawling area, like with so many people in it. There's like 40, 50 cities around Detroit. So it's like a huge area. And I'm from one of the like larger ones. So, and like Detroit itself is really cool. So,
okay. Well, I guess,
but not all of them are like close to the city, but I grew up pretty close to the city.
would you say, and this is going to be corny, would you say it's cool figuratively and literally? Because isn't Detroit get like incredibly cold?
It is cool. Well, I would say literally and literally. Like, it is literally cold in the weather-wise, but it's also, like, cool in the sense that it is, like, everything that word means, and not in a figurative way. Like, it is literally, like, a cool city in its own, like, cultural way. Because that's just as real as, like, weather.
Yeah, because as much as I don't know much about Detroit. All I know is that
Something
like
bad media.
No, like I guess technically, I would think good because like I really like music, and the only main musician that I know is from Michigan or Detroit is probably like Eminem.
Okay,
and that's kind of
you're forgetting a lot.
I know I am, but like I don't like. That's the only one that kind of pops up in my head. I can't think of anybody else really, and I guess for the music heads that are watching, it's a huge sin on my part.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's like they're missing a bunch. Like
yeah, because you missed all of Motown.
Yeah.
The main one.
Okay.
Eminem, and then who else is from Detroit? A lot of terrible people are from Michigan. It's really funny. Madonna's from Detroit.
Okay.
Well, she's from the suburbs. Kid Rock, great. Ted
Nice.
Nuge. I think Ted Nugent's from Michigan. There's a ton of great punk bands. The whole Motown scene. A lot of rappers. A lot of comics, like cool people, like terrible people are from Michigan, but cool people are from Detroit.
Yeah, because it's either like obviously I said Eminem, but then there's like
he's not from Detroit. I'm more from Detroit than him.
Okay.
He grew up in like Oklahoma.
Okay.
Something like that. And two, he's from Macomb. He grew up in Macomb County, which I'm not like taking away from his experiences, but Macomb County isn't even in the same county as Detroit. I grew up in the same county as Detroit, so he's appropriate.
Nah, get him.
But also like I'm like feel very strongly that like you're not supposed to claim you're from Detroit unless you're actually from Detroit.
Okay.
Which is why I'm specific about being from the suburbs, because I'm not trying to offend anyone.
No, I feel that, and like because I guess the same could go from me because I'm from Queens, but a lot of people when they rep New York, it's like Brooklyn, like
yeah, but that's one of the boroughs, so it's like counts.
But like I mean I don't know because. Like you said, you have your knowledge on Detroit because you're from there. Like me, Queens. There's Action Bronson. There's Nas. There's like, if we wanted to get out of Queens, like New York, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, all of them. Like I just know that, and I guess that's just because I'm from there. Yeah,
but I will push back on anyone who forgets Motown because that is very, very few cultural movements had like. Or very few music genres had that much of like a cultural impact on like the world at large.
No, I agree because like I remember in high school I took a and it's funny that I remember this because it was one of the classes that I hated the most. It was musical history, but I didn't hate it because I didn't hate it because of the class. I hated it because my teacher was an asshole.
Yeah,
to me.
It sucks.
And so, but Motown was such a huge part of that class. Like it took us like 4 months to finish it.
Yeah.
And so like just. Because that's like radio stations really came through with that whole scene and everything. Record labels were starting to pop off just because of that, and then even like African American artists were coming through with that too. Like it's crazy that part of history of music is, like to me it's mad cool because like that's what started just about everything when it comes to like music business.
Yeah, and then like it is I would say like a significant part I feel of like the culture of like the area that I grew up in is like the music scene. Like my dad, I went to a lot of concerts growing up just because like so many like my dad was like into that and like thought it was cool to like take teenagers to or like middle schoolers and elementary schoolers to like concerts and stuff like that. But like it was I think because like we had so much access to good music because since like Motown so much good music comes through Detroit, so there was like always cool bands to go and see. Probably like in New York also similarly.
So then what kind of music do you listen to like on the regular? Like I know a lot of people be like, I listen to everything, and
I don't listen to everything.
Okay.
I guess I don't know that, but that is a hard question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So then, all right, let me narrow it down. Who are you listening to right now a lot?
For the last week, I have been obsessively re-listening to the Killers' first album, Hot Fuss.
Fuck yes, dude, that's lit. So the Killers to me have a huge like presence in my childhood because my older brothers and sisters they were always into like I guess at the time it was like alternative rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they're always listening to the Killers or even like what is it, the Strokes?
Yeah.
Any of those like kind of like alternative, I guess experimental rock at the time kind of deal. And so Killers, like that first album to me was always on my like I used to have like a Sony speaker MP3 where you'd slide up and like the speaker is there and you don't have to connect it to anything, it's just already packed in for you. I
had the CD.
You did?
In middle school.
So I mean I had one of those too.
Same thing.
But, I so like do you remember the first album you've ever listened to?
The first CDs I ever got were Motown compilations.
Okay, lit. All right, so I get that.
The first two ones.
It's where the Motown kind of comes in.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like I think the first person who I really idolized, I don't really remember a lot about her because like it was very much like a childhood like interest and obsession. But when I was like 5 or 6, I really was obsessed with Diana Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really remember much about what I like took in from that, except that I was obsessed with Diana Ross.
Okay.
I'm sure I must have like researched her as much as like a 5-year-old can research someone, but.
So like the first album I remember jamming out to was, it's funny, it's a Korn album. Like
cool.
The self-titled Korn album where it's like the girl on the edge of the cliff and like, it's weird. I don't know if you've seen that album cover, but
No, I haven't.
It's a very strange album cover because it's a girl doing hopscotch at the end of like a cliff, and then there's like kids trying to push back a cop from trying to get her or whatever.
Oh, cool.
It's a very like weird looking album cover, but it's a solid album. And,
that sounds cool.
Like to me, because I was like 4 years old, bouncing on my brother's bed, just listening to that album, only for them to take it away from me because it was their album.
Yeah.
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 Do you have older siblings?
I have an older sister, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had to I guess like have you had to like tiptoe around your siblings to like make sure you're not bothering them or?
Well, I think it's good to have siblings. I'll say I think that it's good to have just based on my interactions with adults. I think that people who have siblings end up being like have maybe better like manners.
No, yeah, because like I would agree, but like I've also like I've had hella cases in my childhood like having to tiptoe around especially my older brother.
Yeah,
because I
was
felt
there
like,
a big age gap?
So right now he's I think it's 36 years old. And that's how you know like I'm very close to them. I just don't know their ages because I could care less about their ages.
Right, but it's still like a pretty big gap.
Yeah, because like I'm 25 now.
Yeah,
and so the fact that why'd you just laugh at that? Oh, okay. I thought you were making fun of the fact that I was like still young.
A baby.
Yeah. My bad. Sorry, I just thought you wanted to jive in.
Can you stop breathing for a second? Can you just like stop breathing?
But no, cause like my brother, and I felt like anything I did around him kind of bothered him.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was eating. Me, my older sister, and my youngest brother at the time, who was 3 years old. We were all just chilling at a table, like in our kitchen, and I was just trying to ask for like soy sauce or whatever for our Chinese food, and he just throws a fork at me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would say probably he shouldn't have thrown anything at you. Probably, though, it's tough for like a 17-year-old, to be putting up with like 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Putting up with, but also, yeah, I would say that. I did have to step. I mean, my sister and I like fought a lot when we were kids. I think that that's pretty common. And I think that there's probably definitely like layers to that being like emotionally helpful in the long run. But I think like having someone your own age-ish who like can check you on things is like a peer level. Like I would never borrow someone. I would like never borrow something like an item of someone else's clothing without asking. And that's because I used to do that to my sister and she used to do that to me. And then we would scream at each other and fight. And now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, actually you should ask someone before you like go rummage through their drawers and stuff. So like, and that's sort of kind of like a lesson that like your parents could teach you and like should teach you. But I think it is more impactful if it's coming from someone your own age.
I agree. Yeah, because like ever since, like I'm not saying like what he did was bad. I probably was annoying him, but like I guess because later on, I think that's what like built the fact that I'm so like making sure like I'm doing the right thing and anywhere that I'm at. So like I try not to, ask for things or like kind of like bother anybody in person. I don't know.
It's that, and it can have like long lasting effects. Definitely.
Yeah, because I'm like anywhere, if I'm like at a party or anything like that, I've always noticed that I've been very quiet, and so I feel like that kind of affected that. Is that me being like not bothering anybody in general? That's just like clear out of sight, out of mind kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I just don't talk to anyone, and then a lot of people will come up to me and be like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling."
You'll probably age out of that, like the older you get.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't get so I also feel like I don't get invited to a lot of things either. So like I guess just me experiencing them is kind of like it's the first time kind of thing.
Yeah, I think though that like once you start to build up a like callous of experiences, then you stop sort of like like I remember when I like was first having to go to like work events when I first got my old job like a long time ago, and I would feel so awkward going to like these work events where I wouldn't know anyone or just like I wouldn't know how to like navigate the situation. And then after like 4 years of going to these things, like you meet more people, but even then you just understand like the process of like what's gonna happen when and like where's an okay place to stand and like how to navigate like this like random like office building that I've never been to before or something like that. And you just like sort of build up just experiences, and that informs. I just think that like then that I realized that I was going to these things and I just like wasn't feeling as awkward as I used to.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you're right. Like I probably should just like try to build it up a little. I guess like it's just more so the confidence thing.
Yeah, but I think like you will do that organic. I think some of that is just organic through just having more experiences.
Okay.
And then also like realizing that I do think that being like half of an adult is kind of just like pretending to know what you're doing and like pretending like when I had to like, again, another like work thing is like when I had to take like my old intern somewhere and I was like, just to be real, we're going to this thing. I don't know where we're going within this building. We're just going to walk around and wander around and like we'll figure it out when we get there. And like that's fine. Like it's okay to just like figure shit out when you get there.
So I'm not going to lie. I've been lately feeling like a lot of like this part of my life like has been nothing but a fever dream because I feel like.
Which part?
So I guess so last year, I guess, is when I started moving out and doing stuff on my own. I've been noticing that a lot of these things that I do, like, I guess, for example, do you remember that house party we went to on Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that entire night, even though I was stoned out of my mind, like, I felt like it wasn't real. Like, because one, there was so many people there. Two, like, after, drinking and then, like, smoking, like, it just was like, okay, I don't know if I'm really here. And then everything just started looking weird. Everything got dark. There was just hella colored lights and stuff like that. It felt like an experience. And I was like, I don't think I'm really here.
That's good though. Like that can be good. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're in a fugue state. Like it doesn't sound like you're having like a mental break. It just sounds that like are you having a mental break, or are you just like, this feels kind of like a scene from a movie?
Yeah, like
right.
that.
Okay,
I don't want.
So you're not having like a fugue state. Yeah. So I don't know. Just embrace it.
Yeah, but like also like I don't want it because I didn't want to just make it sound corny. Like, oh, this is a movie like type vibe. Like it's weird that I'm like realizing what my comfort zones were and what it's like to leave that comfort zone and kind of like view it. Cause that and maybe that just has something to do with like anxiety or something like that. But like, I'm not gonna lie, once I let my guard down and everything like that, it just felt weird. It felt like, you know, the scene in like the old Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they go down like, or have you seen that movie?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So like, you know, when they're on the boat and they're
Mm-hmm.
running down the tunnel and it's just like freaky, like scary,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like this, and then they make it at the end of the tunnel and it's like, oh, what is this place? This magical place.
Yeah. I guess, but I would try to flip that over and then just like embrace that.
Okay.
Instead of like being like, is this real in a bad way? You could be like, is this real in a good way?
It's sounding like I'm just a weenie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like...
I wouldn't call you a weenie, although that is a word I use and I do think it's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've told a lot of other people, like, this same exact thing, and they've all kind of told me, like, you just are kind of innocent, like, and you're just, like, living life finally, and it's like, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Everyone does that at some point. And it's probably better and healthier to do it when you're sort of like into your 20s than like people who do it when they're like teenagers or something.
Yeah. That house party was kind of wild though.
That was fun. And like I don't think there's also anything wrong. Like one, like it's very rare, I think, for like TV shows or movies to portray parties in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them get it right. And then sometimes you go to a real life party and you're like, oh, okay, this does make sense. This is like a scene from a movie. And like, that's fine.
Yeah, it was because that similar experience happened last weekend. So I have a friend, his name's Chris. He's a photographer and he goes and he takes photos of artists like I would guess you would call them SoundCloud rappers because that's where they start and then they go up and then like they get bigger and like
yeah, dope.
He's
so my world. It's not.
So like, and he's gotten really big with it. Like he's like taking photographs of like big artists, like I guess you know that like young big artists, like people that are just about to.
Yeah.
Because I was about to name a few people and then I was like,
would be like,
yeah,
no,
I was
don't
about
know.
to be like, I don't think
say their names to me anyway.
So Snot is one.
Wow,
Yeah.
my favorite. I love him. Her. Them.
Tia Kareen.
Woo.
See, like
Tia Kareen.
But
girl or boy or
girl.
Middle.
Yeah, she's from Charlotte actually.
Cool.
Yeah, gotcha.
Queen City.
But
girl.
so like, and then from there, like it's gone to like bigger artists that are like, you know, like Louis Vert or like any of those kind of
That's
like
a name I've heard.
Ski Mask, Slump God, stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm losing you with these artist names.
Well,
but
I wish that you had been like, I'm gonna tell you 3 real ones and then 1 fake one, and then I would get to figure out which is the fake sounding one.
Devin, this isn't the comedy game show. I don't quiz you on things like that.
Right. I know. I love that game show.
But so yeah, he's been doing that for like a couple of years now after the pandemic, and then he throws a birthday party and I'm like just like, oh, okay, it's a regular birthday party, nothing crazy. And I get there and like it's starting to look normal, and then there are these people that start walking in that you can just tell they're like influencers, like they're people that are just like have like 10,000 followers on Instagram or something like that. Like I guess their name means something to like in Instagram or like TikTok or something like that. And as the night progresses, like shit just gets crazier and crazier. Like you start seeing like the apartment, this small ass apartment, like gets filled up to where it's like, oh God, like where am I? This was not a birthday party that I thought it was gonna be. This is an influencer party. And you start like, and this is the part where like I start like really testing the whole, what word did I say? Networking. Mm-hmm. And then I start talking to people and I start knowing what they do. Like people are artists or people are like musicians, people like videographers, like people are there like to connect. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is weird.
So, wait, did you have fun or not?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the highlights of the party was that there was this dude that came in and I guess he runs a few shows, like few like punk, like basement underground shows, like in Raleigh, like for like underground hip hop. And he gives Chris, he's like, here, I rolled like 30 of these, and gives it to him.
Cool.
And he's like, everyone, here. And I'm just like, oh, are we all just getting individual rolls right now?
Yeah.
And so we're just like, everyone simultaneously is just sparking up. And I'm just like, oh, I feel danger right now. Because like we're like in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah.
Like we're like if you were to go like 5 blocks down, like the police station's right there.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, I'm having fun, but I should probably leave soon if like this gets any crazier. But I ended up staying for like an extra hour and a half, and I was like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fun, and I guess at that moment I was just like, yeah, I'm just getting looser. I guess I didn't mean for this to be like a. Am I okay right now?
Yeah,
like,
you're okay. It does sound like you need to maybe have a lighter approach to socializing. I think it's okay. Maybe those people are right, and you're not, and you're just like experiencing the world sort of in like your first sort of, I guess, like outing, and that's fine. And like that's all really good, and I would just embrace it. It sounds like you've had some fun times. I would say the sign of a good party is at some moment you should worry like, oh, am I going to get arrested tonight? And that's probably like you're actually having a really good night. And a cab and
a cab. Nice. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, but like it sounds like maybe like you need to like flip some of the thoughts you're having to like think about them in like a more positive light. Okay.
Yeah. I agree with you on that, because I do be feeling like a little down in the dumps sometimes.
Yeah.
So like, and you mentioned it earlier, like obviously you're not a therapist, so like I guess like me bringing this up, like I don't want it to make it seem like I'm asking for advice.
No, I just like didn't know what to do with your brother throwing things at you.
See, and that's the thing, I didn't know what to do about it either. Like that thing hurt. Like it's crazy because like it sticks to my I just remember it clear as day, but it happened like 17 years ago or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. He probably, if you talk to him about it now, would be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have thrown something at you. Or maybe he would have like, actually, you were being a bitch right then, and you had said something that you don't even remember, and you deserved it. But
yeah, probably
not. Probably he should have had more patience with a child. But
yeah, I'm gonna let future Alex take care of that. Yeah. Probably not now, or maybe anytime soon, but future Alex will probably deal with that. I'm gonna leave an editor's note here. Remind myself in like 10 or 5 years.
Yeah, put it in your calendar for 2033. Talk to brother about spoon.
The fork incident.
Yeah.
Like put it in bold letters. Or like, you know how like in CSI where like every time they change scene it's like dun dun, and it's like the fork incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, but yeah, that I don't know. I guess I'm just getting used to like doing stuff like that. Cause like my New Year's was pretty fun. Did you have a good New Year's?
It was fine. I didn't really do much. Normally I do go out in Detroit for New Year's, but the place that we typically go to like was shut down for that time, and then like some of the other places we were looking at like weren't doing New Year's parties, which was weird. Because normally there's a lot of stuff to do. But then I just like went to my friend's house and smoked and watched TV.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I used to not do anything for New Year's, and then, you know, because my family always did something, they'd always get together and they'd make lots of Mexican food and just chill and watch the ball drop and then just drink and have fun.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just like was like, I want to be distant from my family. Like, not saying I don't like them, it's just, you know, sometimes I want to do things on my own.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of times where like my New Year's were like absolutely terrible. Like I went to there was one New Year's I went with a friend. Her name's Kit. She's one of my best friends now. But me, her brother, her, and then her boyfriend at the time, and then 2 other friends that were dating, all went to Myrtle Beach for New Year's.
Oh, cool.
We all had a plan. Like we were like, oh, we're gonna get like a nice hotel, and then we're gonna spend midnight on the beach and just watch the waves or whatever.
Yeah.
Very like. Like it seemed super fun at the time, but when you think about it, it's kind of like, yeah, we could have done. It's mad cold.
No, I think that sounds lovely.
But
that's very nice.
So we were actually a lot of us were like 18, 19, and then 20.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do when you're that age.
So when we go and we try to go get this nice hotel, they were like, oh, you got to be like 21.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were all just like, fuck. We just drove like 3 hours to get here. And so we go and we get a motel, like literally down the road. And they were about to tell us like, no, we can't get a motel until like, I noticed they were Latina. And I was like, oh, here, here, I got this.
Yeah.
And I start talking to them. I'm like, please, like, we just been out here. Like, you know, I pulled the empathy card on them. And I'm like, we're trying to find a spot to spend the night. And so they help us out. And then, I got super tired and I was just mad tired. I was super down also for like girl reasons. And then like I just didn't want to be around them, I guess. I let all that intrusive thoughts kind of take over. And then they told me that the beach was terrible anyway. So I was like, all right, well, I guess this was a wasted trip. And then after that, I just never did anything.
Again, I think that actually sounds like a fine time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not being you, like being sad, but like to like be on a beach at any point, cold or warm, is like an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think that not everything needs to be celebrated exactly the same. And like also you were a teenager and there's like no options for like the age from like 18 to 21. There's like very limited options of what people can actually do. So like that sounds great.
Yeah. And then so like I explained that because this year, like I guess the New Year's that we just did, I went clubbing for the first time, like on New Year's.
Yeah.
That was crazy fun. Oh man. If I could recommend clubbing on New Year's, do it. Find a good club. Because a lot of these clubs actually suck out here.
Yeah, that's not really my scene.
Yeah, but like I went to, Alchemy up the road from Halcyon.
Yeah.
I went there for New Year's and I had the time of my fucking life.
Good.
There. It was so cool. Like it was like a real rager. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've been to like a rave or so or anything like that, but it just had that kind of energy, like festival energy in there. Almost got into a fight that night. That was cool. Like not like because I did something wrong. Technically, the dude was just having bad vibes around me, and like he just wanted to fight me for no reason. But
classic.
Like, I was already like drunk, so I didn't care.
Yeah,
like I was already having too much fun to let some dude like fuck up my night.
Right.
But like, yeah, that was the first time I've ever been like clubbing on a holiday. Because I've been to clubs and stuff like that, but that's just not really me.
Yeah.
But then again, it is what it is. Like, you're right. Like if I were to just let go of like all those thoughts, I just could have fun.
There's like, I think again, another thing, like the older you get, the more you realize that things like, I think like having a big New Year's is not a real important thing in the grand scheme of life. Or like, like the Christmas gets worse the older you get, Christmas gets more boring.
Christmas gets more stressful the older you get.
Christmas gets more stressful and it's not as much fun. And like, your birthday like doesn't become as interesting the more you have of them. So like that's the sort of thing where you just like it's nice, a natural way to alleviate pressure. Because like what I remember in high school, we were like so obsessed with, this was high school, I was like 15 or 16, we were like so obsessed with doing something for New Year's and like what can we even do for New Year's when you're that age. But like me and my two other friends ended up all like, we thought we had somewhere to go and we kind of did, but we all told like different lies to our parents. And then when none of us could go home because like things fell through, then we ended up sleeping in the car.
I've had moments like that, like for sure. But it wasn't for like New Year's. It was more so like summer vacation where like, you have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And like you just want to do stuff and kind of just,
Yeah, there's just like limited options for in like certain situations. But both going to the beach sounds fun to do on New Year's. That sounds like that's like a good idea. That's creative. And then also clubbing sounds fun.
Yeah, I do regret the beach though, because I felt like I would really like had a lot of fun. And Myrtle Beach in itself, now that if you go to Myrtle Beach now, it's kind of dirty, like it's not well run. But I guess back then, like it felt like its own amusement park, because if you walk down the street of the motel we were at, there's like a Ferris wheel and it was like go-karts or whatever, and I was like, this is cool. I don't know, lame-o Alex back then just was not about it and did not want to have fun.
We can go back.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I guess I'm also trying to get used to that too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Like I said earlier, I just feel like a big weenie about everything.
That's also fine.
Yeah.
That's equally fine.
All right. Well, you heard it here, guys. It's okay to be a weenie.
It's okay to be a weenie.
Hut Junior energy, anytime, any place. But what time is it? You got good nights tonight, right? The
yeah,
open
I
mic?
do want to try to hit the mic.
Yeah, I have yet. Well, I've done the open mic there once, and I did pretty good. But now I'm afraid to go back.
Why?
Because like I was saying earlier, like I just feel like I don't have shit for jokes right now.
I think like the people put a lot of pressure on themselves when realistically the bar is very low. especially because it's not something that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we've been talking mad about how like I do overthink. And
Yeah, I overthink too. Like I was really unhappy with like my shows this year. Up until the show I was on Sunday, like I did not feel like I had a show that was like up to my standards of like what I consider to be good. But like in hindsight, I did a good job in like all the shows I did this year. I know it's only February, but I didn't do as good as I know I can do. And like so I don't feel good about them and I'm not happy. But an open mic is just something that lives in the air. Like it's just like rolls off of you and like it just exists and it's ephemeral and it doesn't have to have any feelings attached. That's how I feel after 4 years of doing this. Not immediately. That's not how I felt when I was in it. But now I'm like, whatever. It's just like, water off of a stone.
Ooh, I like that. That was cool. Water off of a stone.
I didn't come up with that. Well, I'm sure that's something else.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And like you won't be better at writing jokes if you don't
I don't go, right?
And you don't go. And if you go and you don't get pulled, because I think there's going to be like a lot of people there tonight because it's the first one back. So probably not everyone's going to be pulled. But I go to open mics and sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, the bar is like really low just for getting up there. And also because like not doing well is part of it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll think about it because, well, I obviously can't make it tonight because I'm recording something else after this.
Cool.
But I mean, Haymaker's right after.
Yes, I'm debatable about that because I'm even though I don't have a job, I'm somehow behind on everything I have to do.
Yeah.
So I might skip Haymaker to do some tasks.
Okay. That's very responsible of you.
Right, because then I also have more tasks I have to do tomorrow during my day of not doing anything. So
I like how you call them tasks. Are they just chores or like?
Well, I feel like they're different tasks. I really shout out to, I'm going to recommend an incredible TV show. I'm going to do straight to camera. I recommend the show Taskmaster on YouTube. So that's probably why I call them tasks, just because it's my favorite show. It's called Taskmaster. It's on YouTube.
So the nerd in me just like was like, oh, she's talking about like the Marvel villain. And then
no, absolutely not. It's a British show. It is for nerds. It's a British show for terrible nerds.
Okay.
Awkward people and like people who are dumb and smart at the same time.
I like how you said like no disgustingly. Are you against like the whole superhero thing or?
I'm not against it, but I don't care and it's too much. And I will say that I do think it's kind of like ruined the current movie landscape wherein like I've been going to the movies a lot lately because it's one of the things I'm doing when I'm unemployed. And like I remember being up until like, I don't know, middle school or high school, just having like wonderful experiences in the movies, and you get to go and you specifically get to see like a lot of like really great comedies and like really cool rom-coms and also just like movies that aren't good. And I feel like there's like no middle ground between like right now you either have like prestige dramas that are usually like intense and like, emotionally hard, or you have like really terrible movies that feel like a waste of time to watch. And like what we don't have anymore is like middle quality movies, This isn't, lots of people have said this before, and I think we lose like the middle ground movies because all of the budgets and like the good actors and every one of those people are like wrapped up in like their Marvel contracts, and like that's all the money that people want, is they think that just like this IP that is just like recycled instead of all of these new fresh ideas that might not be like Oscar winners, but they're also not terrible.
Okay.
So that's my issue.
So you're the only person that I've ever met that has like a really solid argument about that, because everybody else that are just like, oh, it's just because Marvel movies are for kids and this and that, and it's like it's just ruining the whole like just the formula of like movies and everything like that. They don't give you like an in-depth like answer, and I'm just like I respect that, because me like obviously like I'm a nerd, but like I keep it very low key. I don't really like telling people like out there like, oh yeah, I fucks with like Spider-Man like that, unless I know that they're about that. Like granted, I mean, if you looked at my car, like it's very like nerdy, but there's like a culture to that. Like I get like car scene culture and stuff like that. But personally, like I like to keep it low key because I don't want to give anybody the just ammo to like roast me on the fact that I'm a nerd.
Well, I do think that when it comes to liking superheroes, that's like the main cultural that's like that's not like nerd culture anymore.
Well, not anymore. Yeah, that's like it's pop culture now.
Yeah, that's like mainstream.
Yeah.
That I would say that's like middle America culture, like than what it used to be. That's not an insult. That's also not an insult. I'm from Michigan. I'm proud of that. I believe in middle America. I'm running for office.
Nice.
I'm not. But yeah, I don't like. I think also again another thing. The older you get, the more you realize that the things that you're actually interested in are what's interesting about you. Well, not necessarily, but like having like a passion and having like ideas and being informed about things. I often think is very cool. Like people who are smart about things that I'm not smart about, that's very interesting to me. And then if people hide that because they think they're going to get roasted, then that's boring.
Oh, well, boring guys. No, I see what you mean by that. Like, cause I really do hide the fact that I am like a huge nerd.
Do Freddy?
No, yeah, me and Freddy, we're always like mad
and,
talking
like,
about
Freddy is like.
But the thing is, like, because I look at Freddy and I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter for him. Because, like, for one, like, yeah, I'm about to compliment the fuck out of Freddy. Like, that man's attractive as shit.
He's beautiful.
That man is fucking sculpted.
Yeah.
It's like, he can kind of get away with that because, like, he's already, like, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a bad thing that, like, he's pretty and he could just be nerdy all the time. Like, for me, it's a little bit harder for me because I'm, like this. Like,
yeah. I guess I think that, like, or what I just saw like a tweet on the internet making fun of, or I don't know, bringing up, do you remember the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I know about it.
Okay. Funny. Great movie. I don't know how well it's aged. But so it was like a tweet where it's like, oh, like a 40-year-old virgin. Are you trying to like say that a man in his 40s who has like a stable job, a walkable commute, many varied interests, and like he can cook and clean is like a bad catch? And it's like, yeah, no, that's actually like a very well-rounded, desirable adult.
Okay. All right. I'll definitely watch that movie just to understand it a little bit more. But
yeah, I think it's just like the things that like, I think that the things that people are interested, I don't know. I just think that people, I'm a big fan of people who have like varied hobbies.
Okay. Yeah. Cause, yeah, I'm just a big nerd, like quiet nerd. I mean, I like fashion, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one of the things we kind of, that's the, that's the hour mark.
What
Thank
time
you.
is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so.
I'm sorry you lost Best Dressed.
Oh, I'm so pissed about that. Not really, but I mean, it's very funny to like be mad about it because it's like.
I don't know what that's like because I won when I was.
I know, that's why. We're not worthy, like, but no, that was a very fun night. The fact that it was even up there, like on the screen, was fun for me. And I know, like, a lot of people would think that, like, that's, you know, it's just an award show. Like, to me, it's like, oh, that just means I like the people know me, like the homies know me. So
I will say, if it makes you feel better, I don't know if Jordan's gonna be mad at me for saying this, but Jordan said that he thinks you are better dressed than him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. That warms me up so fucking much, dude.
I hope that warms you up for long enough because I'm eligible for the award this year. So.
Oh, okay. So, nah, because ever since I lost, I was like, nah, fuck it. Everything is coming out of the closet now. Every branded thing that I've had is coming out. Like, because I'd wear, like, Amazon, like, shit. Like, I'd try to make, like fast fashion, like, fashionable.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much most of my fits from last year was all, like, Walmart, Target, and, like, Amazon.
Oh, cool.
Everything but the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
My shoes was like either Vans or like I started incorporating like Docs into my like fits.
Yeah, those are cool.
Now I'm like really getting into like streetwear with like Nike like Dunks and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to like come out here and look.
Yeah,
good.
you're very well dressed.
Appreciate it.
Right. But let that sustain you because I'm eligible this year.
Okay.
And I wasn't eligible in 2022. I didn't realize I wasn't eligible in 2022. But I'm eligible in 2023.
Okay, bet. Don't even worry about it because I'm going to win this year.
Okay.
All right. And look at that. It just started a rivalry.
That's
bet.
Really exciting for you to feel the need to compete.
I got the flames now. The flames were dimmed. Now they're blooming right now.
I really feel like I'm only in competition with myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, again, it's just like every outfit needs to be better than the previous outfit, right? You know, like every day better than every set better than the set before, not necessarily, but it's just like.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you really do be coming out fitted as fuck. It's crazy.
I only care about clothes.
Like, Well, I feel that way too, but I feel like this is me actually flattering you. You're here. You're here in your fits, and then I'm right here. So I need to figure out how to make that gap because I feel like I can get there, but like you're just.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been like kind of bored with my clothes because I haven't really bought new clothes since April.
Mm-hmm.
Because I stopped buying clothes because I knew I was going to be quitting my job. But that's nice. And yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. I just like love clothes. I don't know what else. I do think about it a lot. But nothing crazy.
I've literally, cause today I like switched 3 different outfits today just to find this one.
I like that.
I totally forgot I had this sweater because I wore this for the comedy award night, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna keep this away.
That's a nice casual but elevated, like for like a low key award show fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I had this. I had a pair of like Jordan 1s that I had, and then just I don't really go crazy with my bottoms.
Right. Yeah, I don't know anything about shoes. That's like a new thing where I realized that like the male comedians really care about each other's shoes.
Also,
I don't know anything about sneakers because I don't
thing
really wear
about
gym shoes.
like shoes and fashion, and shoes speak a lot more than anything else, unless you get a top that like speaks more. So like anybody could wear anything, like bottom top.
Yeah.
If the shoe is kind of like, oh, I know that shoe. That's like it's like a Dunk Panda. That's a really well known shoe in the shoe community. Oh, you have that and just like a white top with like black jeans and maybe a solid hat. There you go. There's your fit.
Yeah, it's really easy for men. I didn't really, because I like, my understanding of people who have like can spot like very specific items is usually like very high fashion, not like affordable sneakers. And that is like, and I don't really wear gym shoes, and like I don't really think too much about men's clothes, but then like realizing that all of the men in the comedy scene, like they talk about how much money their shoes cost, they like compare shoes to each other, they have like encyclopedic knowledge of what each other's shoes are, and like all of that was just like blew my mind.
So like
none of the girls care what clothes each other's wear, but all the men are like comparing their shoes.
So I think because shoe culture in itself is one huge thing.
Yeah.
For me, I've always had to like really come out and look well, because as a fat kid, if you wore something that is easy to be like made fun of, you're gonna get made fun of for it.
Yeah.
Like prior to figuring out how to dress myself, it was always just one like sweatpants and like a Reebok shirt from Walmart and like a Hanes hoodie. Like that was it. And like my shoes would be something from like Walmart, like Airwalk or something like that. And I would always get super roasted until YouTube luckily came about and people were starting to make these fashion videos and like you started being able to order shit. And then that's when I started taking on like different fits. Like I went through like I went through my emo stage. Like I went through like streetwear. I even started wearing like suits to school. I went through like my own like I don't know, like business casual kind of deal, stuff like that. And then now I mix it up.
Yeah.
Some days I'll be like I'll tuck in like a button shirt and like put in a cardigan and like have my like Dickies pants and I'll be indie fit for the day, or like today, this is a real like streetwear fit.
Yeah.
Because like I'm just jeans, a Nike hat, and then Nike Dunks. Like honestly, like it's gotten a lot easier to dress.
Right. I've noticed that too, where it's sort of just like eventually you get rid of things that you don't like, and then it's hard to look bad because you kind of just only have good options.
I've also lost a lot of weight, so like being able to dress, it has gotten easier.
Yeah, there's like the problems with like the fashion industry is just inaccessible. I would say like the main one besides like climate change is like inaccessibility.
Shouts out to plus size clothing though, like women's pants. Oh, fucking incredible. Ever since I found out that I like plus size pants like fit me, it's been like, okay, bet the skinny jeans problem's over. Like I got it.
Yeah, those aren't in hindsight maybe the best pants, especially for men.
Well, I mean,
the skinniest skinny jeans.
Well, I'm wearing a pair right now, and so like these are like super skinny rock star Old Navy pants. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Probably.
But like these fit so fucking well. Like
I
was able to like, cause I work at a at a sales store and we get bored sometimes, and like there's times where like all the guys just were like, oh, let's see who's the fastest, and like I've had to run in these.
The fastest.
Yeah, like we get so bored that we're just trying to figure it out. And I've ran in these jeans. Like these are the first pair of jeans that I've had for like 2+ years, and they've not ripped on me.
Yeah, that's great. That's like when you need to buy them in like multiple pairs at once so that they last forever.
Yeah, I have like 6 pairs of the black ones, and I'm just like, this is just on constant rotation.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing I wanted to talk about before we go, because we're already at the hour point.
Sure.
So something that's been bothering me these past couple of weeks, I like how I got super informative. It's actually
What's been bothering you?
So I've personally come to you like for like girl advice, because as you know, like I do deal with like some very sad moments in my romantic life. So lately I've been led on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, how do you feel about leading dudes on? Or have you ever like accidentally led anybody on or anything like that? Because for me, it's like I've never actually been led on, because I've never gotten to a point where like they've, like let it be known like, hey, I like you, and then later on just be like, oh, just kidding.
Well, no, I don't I've definitely never done anything like that intentionally.
Okay.
I think that would be pretty heartless. Although I can see people being like, oh, well, I'm, I guess that's kind of like maybe backburnering someone.
Yeah.
But I also think that there are situations where you can like, do you think someone's like intentionally leading you on?
Oh no, we've already like, so the problem's been like dealt with. Like I've kind of let them know like, hey, listen, I feel like you've been like leading me on. Like it's kind of sucked knowing that.
Yeah.
But like I'm at a point where like I'm kind of used to something like this, so it's not hurting me like initially, but the fact that like you kind of did that to me, I'm gonna look at you differently.
Yeah,
like we're gonna stay friends, but like I just so you know, like that hurt my feelings.
Good, assert yourself.
And they were like, yeah, I could see why, and I understand. Like they were very understanding. It was one of the first times that I've ever been told from a woman that, yeah, you're right, like I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, versus anybody else that I've ever been like, hey, like you kind of hurt my feelings, like, and I don't appreciate that. They would always be like, well, I don't care about your feelings or this and that. Like, I shouldn't have to worry about your feelings, stuff like that. But this is the first time someone was actually like genuine. And so it really like took me back. I was like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, well, she sounds maybe then like someone definitely to like keep around in like a friend capacity.
No, yeah, she's definitely one of my homies. Like now, like we're cool. Yeah. It's just like, it's weird to me that like something like that like accidentally could happen, or if it's intentional, like is that like something that ever pops up in anybody's head like normally?
God, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that is like romantic tropes doesn't either I just have had normal friends my entire life or just aren't real.
Okay.
Because like none of my friends, none of the women I know would intentionally like deliberately lead someone on for like a game or like what's the outcome. I can see someone like flirting with someone for a while because you don't know what you want out of that, or because you're maybe like keeping a couple flirts going at once. Like that's fine. I think that there's also a lot more like gray area now with like how people talk to each other. But I can't imagine anyone like that's like a diabolical like what are you doing?
Yeah,
like what's the end game?
Because like I couldn't tell if it was like this is legit, or if this was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm being played right now. Because obviously I've told you before, like I've mentioned it a lot on the podcast, but the Tennessee girl like really hurt my feelings, and I've told you about that. And I was like like to me, I figured out like, oh, they actually ended up going on another trip with that same group that they went with Tennessee, but without me. So it's like, damn, I guess I'm the problem. And so like, but I don't think that anymore, because I really felt like she really did kind of just gaslight me into thinking I was like the problem. Yeah. And
so, and I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have only genuinely had experiences with mostly people who are normal, or not like normal, like nothing's normal, but like a lot of like, I've never had like a friend who's done like a crazy, like deliberate thing. Okay. So like or like, I don't know women who, I don't really know a lot of women who like look through their partner's phones and like that sort of thing, or like set up all these like sneaky traps, or like try to do things like deliberately.
Yeah.
I think that stuff is more like stories that get blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I just had to ask because I feel like, you know, if I ask like my friends like this question, like I feel like I'd get an honest answer because I'm still learning. Like I'm, you know, again, I'm 25. I probably should have learned this when I was like 16, like, or I don't know. I really don't. I talk about it a lot on here. Like my love life is fucking stupid.
I don't believe that there's like a timeline. There's like no single timeline that everyone has to follow. Like not everyone dating in high school is like not normal or healthy or right. And like I don't think it has any like real difference in the long term.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that this person didn't lead you on deliberately. I think she maybe like extended a flirt in a way that wasn't trying to be.
I don't think she did either. I just, you know, because that whole thing, like, just it felt too good to be true. Because it felt like everything was like kind of like, yeah, like everything's good. And then there came a point where like there's a situation where another friend was like, she was talking to a couple other friends of ours about another dude and how she was like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna date this other guy and this and that. And then one of the other friends was like, wait, I thought you and him were like hooking up.
Yeah.
And then I guess she just was like, no. And then came and talked to me about it. And then, you know, I feel like at that point, that's when everything started to crumble.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That's like a lack of communication, right? Like she probably should have been like more honest about like, yeah, I'm seeing other people. And like that's kind of what I want to do right now.
Yeah, and I had no problem with that. I knew she was talking to some dude. I didn't know it was like this other dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So it was, and you know, I don't care if like we're in the process of like talking and then you're talking to other dudes. That's no biggie for me. But like, if it seems a little like I'm getting to that point where we're about we're gonna be a thing,
right?
Like, I you know, would like you to tell me like, hey, I don't think it's gonna work out, instead of just
hell yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You know, I'm not bummed out about it anymore. I was mad bummed out about it because it was like one of the first times I was like about to like find, I guess, love.
I'd be bummed out if I thought something was going to get serious and then I think it's like such a normal thing. Like obviously it'd be like so disappointing if you thought something was going to get serious and then like they come out and be like, oh, actually I'm more interested in seeing this other person. That would suck. That's sad. I would feel very sad.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely happened to me.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm just glad it happened this way and not like terribly, because if it would have happened terribly, I probably would still probably be fucking sulking.
Oh yeah, and she seems like probably nice and like a nice, reasonable person. And I think that makes a huge difference.
No, yeah, she's like great. She's very great.
Good for her. Good for you. And now you have a friend.
Yeah, I mean, I've told her this too. Like, I'm not gonna like think of you any differently, but like if whatever happens in the future, like if you want to pursue something, just know it's not there anymore. Like it can't,
I think that's good too. Yeah.
Because like I can't bring that back up. Yeah. You know, it's not like I can just charge it and then. Yeah, it is what it is though. I'm just glad I can fully develop that and then move on. Yeah.
No, I mean that does sound like a healthy learning experience. That doesn't sound like anyone really got fucked over.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, but no, we've been going for a pretty long time. Devon, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Alex.
I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for playing therapist with me. And
sure.
and thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to check out anything other than this show, Manly Girly Studios in the bio. We're all just chill, like having fun, stuff like that. And I'll be on Twitch TV as well. Link in the description, stuff like that. And oh yeah, do you have any upcoming shows? Yeah, I'm starting a monthly show at Anisette Sweet Shop in Raleigh. It will be mostly the third Saturday of the month. It's a free show, 7 o'clock at Anisette in Raleigh. And yeah, that's it. Awesome. Devon Roberts, again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.
fun.